Do this. All right, let's see. First, double checking that the stream is on. Says it's sending the data to YouTube. Looks like we're on in both places. And let me start up this chat application. I am back from Jamaica. Restream. Should be here somewhere. Restream chat. I couldn't see it on that. I guess I don't have the application there. Anyway. All right. And we should be good. We're live. All right. Today is Monday, January 24th. Starting my Groovecast. No, it's Groovecast. A little bit late today, but that's okay. That's the way it is today. We're getting this thing going this year, and I'm going to get on track and get on schedule. I've got some time this week to nail in the details of what I need to get prepared for Open Mic coming up next Monday. Instead of the Groovecast, it's going to be Open Mic. And let me wrap my head around this. We just got back from some flying, so you have to forgive me for being a little bit scatterbrained right now. But hey, I guess that's just part of who I am. But hopefully I'm going to start to get a handle on that. So we've got next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Open Mic is going to start. And I've got Grant Wenzel is coming. Tim Falvey is coming. And I need to follow up with Joshua Jarman. I think he may or may not be coming. I'm not sure. If it's not Joshua, it'll be somebody else. I don't know who yet. I'll figure it out. I've got my longtime collaborator and prolific songwriter Nathan Douglas is going to join us to do a song digitally. And somebody named Arvetra from North Carolina. If anybody else wants to jump in digitally, we're going to do this through Skype. There'll be 3 people here in the studio, and then people joining in through Skype. If anybody is watching live on Monday and has a Skype account and you want to pop on, I think we can do that. It's open mic night. It's Open Mic, and so I'm going to play this a little bit by ear, but that's the format that I'm going to start out with, and I'm excited to see what transpires. At the very least, it'll be a chance for musicians to connect and share some music together, even if it's in a small scale. Hopefully it grows a bit and people can check out some of their local artists or view some artists they've never seen before. Let's see. One thing I definitely wanted to talk about in this particular Groovecast is COVID. So I'm going to get to that a little bit later, though. And the reason I want to talk about it is because after doing this traveling and being in airports and experiencing, seeing all that and experiencing it firsthand, and also being in another country and seeing how they are handling, the pandemic and how they're processing it and the choices that they're making. And I've been overseas maybe 3 different times now during this time, and so when I was there doing this, I just had thoughts going on about it, and I wanted to share them. Also going to play a little bit of piano. I've been out, like I've said, I've been out of the country, so I haven't been able to practice as much as I would have liked, but didn't get to practice at all. But I practiced a little bit before I left. I'll be doing 30 minutes a day, and the songs are coming along, and I'm just so excited. There's so many unique piano songs that are just so wonderful to listen to, and just really enjoying learning these songs, and I'm so excited to develop a repertoire of piano. So I had to learn the classic, Almost. Play that better. apologize. I'm just going to skip to the... We gotta go. Anyway, gonna keep working on that one. And then just today, and a little bit before I left on the trip, I've started this one. That's a Chopin piece in C sharp minor, and I love that, and that's just starting to come to me, and then I can't remember the rest of the melody there, but then it gets into the coolest part. It goes, this part, I'm gonna play it slow, but yeah, here we go. All right, so that's the Chopin Waltz in C sharp minor, and like I said, I think that's the second time I practiced this. I've learned a really cool method for learning these songs that for Elise came pretty well. I mean, the whole piece came pretty well to me within a week, and just doing small bits of practice every day. So I'm really excited about developing these pieces, getting them like where I can really, really play them, and start to get my own sense of where I know I've got them so well in my fingers that I can really do with them whatever I feel like. That's where it gets really fun. So, let's see. Jamaica. All right, y'all. One thing I learned from Jamaica is, I don't know, just from my time in Jamaica, I'm trying to humble myself a lot, and it's hard to sum up in just a short amount of words, but I just don't. I want to, more than I want to like accomplish much anymore. I really want to enjoy just being alive and seeing people and trying to be part of good stuff. And so that's something that I want to share from Jamaica. All right, why don't we talk a little bit about Jamaica? Jamaica was a really interesting place. One thing that happened that I don't know how this is going to come across, but one thing that was really common was people would say, "Hey man," or "Yeah man." That is super super common. I heard, I think most people that are listening to this, you've probably been exposed to the Jamaican accent, and you've heard it. People do the Jamaican accent, and it's very common, like, "Yeah man, hey man, you're making me crazy man," or whatever. And I have learned there's a reason that is the case, and that's that you hear that just all the time. Whenever I would interact with any Jamaican, it was like I was absolutely going to hear, yeah man. It was just kind of like a way of saying, okay, yeah man, yeah man. And the accent was exactly, well, I don't know if I'm hitting it exactly, but that's what it is. And it was so like perfect. It sounded just like the way people do the accent, when they are pretending to be Jamaican or pretending to have a Jamaican accent. And so it, like, the entire time, a whole bunch of times that when I was there, I kept feeling like the people I was talking to were just faking it. I would be talking to Jamaicans. I was like, you don't really talk like that. There's no way you don't talk like that. And I think that one of the reasons why is because there is such a similarity between in the way that the sounds are produced. It's so distinct, but it's not actually that different from American English. There's so much in common between Jamaican English and or the Jamaican accent, the way English is spoken in Jamaica, and the way that it's spoken in America. There's something about the way it's used casually and it's the sort of slang nature that's just so similar. It just feels like a bunch of times I was just like, I feel like these people are just faking it because that's the way it's supposed to sound in Jamaica, and then they can collect their tourist paycheck. They can. That's what the tourists want, and so they give it to them. But really, they talk different behind closed doors or whatever when they're with their friends. So, of course, that's not the case at all. But I don't know why, it just kept feeling like that. And anyway, interesting time. Got to spend some time traveling the coast. One of the things that Shuang and I really like to do when we travel is we like to rent a car. And I never used to do this in the past, but what I've found is when you go out to another country, when you travel somewhere, it's so nice to have a car because you end up getting so much more of an experience of the place. And so we drove up and down the coastline. You have to stay inside an area. Since Shuang and I aren't vaccinated, we have to stay in the Resilient Corridor, which is a marked area, at least on a map, which is sort of the designated tourist area during this time of COVID. And it's basically covers the majority of the Jamaican coastline, and there's a bunch of cities that are within the Resilient Corridor. And we went all the way to this place called the Blue Lagoon, which was this sort of soft, misty blue kind of color, where the water was very distinctly different from anywhere else, and it changes from the more consistent color that's kind of a green, a blue-green of most of the water, and this just became this soft but kind of deep and misty blue. Very cool color, and then the water just goes from hot to cold, and it's hundreds of feet deep and no fishing allowed. So anyway, the views of Jamaica are very cool, very nice. The people are interesting. They can be intense, but they're also many of our experiences were really nice, and some of them were pretty intense. But all right, let's see what else to talk about here. I'm gonna check my schedule here. It's not gonna be a long one tonight. We just got back and I haven't had a lot of time to gather my thoughts. I should say, open mic night tomorrow. Mic Club is going to occur tomorrow again, 6:30 to 10. It's just going to be me hosting going forward. Tomorrow I'm going to set up a cajon, mic'd up, and it'll be a little more stripped down, a little more mellow, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody that comes out, and I'm excited to start moving it. I've scheduled a gig that I want to find out what the actual date is, but it's going to be a date in June, where one of these Tuesdays in June, those that want to be involved from Mic Club, we're going to put together a bill and go be part of the Mount Pleasant Farmers Market. I'm really excited about that, and I'm really excited to start working with those of you that want to come and be consistent to develop some set lists and songs. And in particular, I really want to I really hope that this is a way for people to come together around original music and help develop each other's original music, and have enough players that we can pull from to really complement each other and really help bolster and promote all of our original music. There's so many great original songs around. Like I'm working with Fleming Moore on a song of his called "Oh My Molly," and it's such a fun song, and it's a song that needs to be played by a band to a lively audience, and where everybody just has the time of their life. It's begging for that. And I hear songs like this all the time. And I'm working on another song called Guitar Heaven for John Fifield. And that one is a ton of fun to play. I want to see that one played in that way with a full band and to a lively audience. And so I think this is a way to help try to make that happen, is for all of us to support each other. And so that's what I'm looking to create. And I want this to be a place where beginners are able to just jump in with experienced players and learn and grow, and experienced players are able to jump in and do stuff that they might not do on their weekend gig, where they can work out some stuff that isn't as ready, or I just want it to be a place where everybody can get something out of it and can use the event for a purpose that allows them to grow, or just allows for a good time. That's what my hope is for the event, and I hope it to be just very productive and just help to grow music community and allow us to write more music and just develop our material and ourselves. What else here? I said I was going to talk about COVID, and so I will. I'll do that now. So I just wanted to be, I don't want to stir any pot or anything like that, but I don't want to be afraid to be able to say what my perspective is, or to share my views or what my experience is, and not be shamed for it. And I think that's maybe one of the worst things that we've got going on right now, is that you put your perspective out there and you get shamed for it. Like, I think we all need to take a chill pill, and be more patient with each other and be more compassionate with each other, and allow each other understand and believe that we are all on the same team. I mean, we should be. We're all Americans. We're part of the same country. And we need to have respect for each other and patience with each other, because nobody learns, when somebody says their perspective and then immediately you have 10 people that are telling them they're evil or they're a terrible person, it's like that's they're never going to learn. They're just going to dig in deeper to what they're saying because they think that the other people are very hateful, and so it's very unlikely to be productive that way. And let's remember, we all start out as children, and I think in particular with the COVID thing, it's the information was not promoted very well. You've had like, all right, people. There's been such obvious or such, what's the word, I would say in your face hypocrisy on this. Like, for people, this is something that, and I don't want to take sides or anything like that, because again, I just think most people are coming from a good place, and we get lost in ideology, and we get stuck, we get too narrow into that, instead of zooming out and understanding we're all people trying to navigate this situation. And the information hasn't been consistent. I'm just going to make a point about people pigeonhole you when you say anything that takes one side. If you aren't aware of this, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they spoke pretty significantly against the idea of taking a vaccine back when Trump was in office. And once they were now in office, it's completely changed. And now they condemn people that don't want to take the vaccine. But they were those were the words coming out of their mouth, only a few years ago. The point in this is not to condemn any people of one side, because I think we need to get out of this mentality of sides. And it's just to say the leadership in general has not been good at delivering quality information. And so I don't think that we, as the smaller people, the individuals, should be giving others a hard time, when we should be more understanding of the fact that the delivery information has been chaotic. It's like impossible to know. And on the one hand, you've got people that are passionate this way, and you got other people that are passionate this way. And so I'm going to say, being in Jamaica, it's interesting. Like, other countries are taking it very seriously, and so we were at a resort, and you had to get your temperature tested, and every time you walked into any community room, you would get your hands sprayed with sanitizer, and you had to wear a mask. In the airports, we had to wear a mask, and you got to wear a mask through the airplanes. But there's also something. So as seriously as these places are taking it, there's also something to be said for the inconsistency and all the different methods that people are taking. And so, for example, when we're getting our hands sprayed and we're wearing a mask in these cafeterias or restaurants or whatever, and we can take them off when we sit down, we're still in a room, with a bunch of people. And I think when we're walking around, there's it's basically that there's certain behaviors that are decided sort of necessary behaviors, or even if the risk, it's not, there's not a consistent rule. It's just kind of made up. That's what I'm saying. It's just kind of made up. There's not like a underlying principle. It's just being made up as it goes along. And so, like, you have to create these systems to work in each individual space, and every space is different, and so when these people are spraying the sanitizer on people's hands, there is no way that they can track every single person that's walking in and out. And sometimes people are getting through. that aren't getting their hands sprayed. Sometimes people forget to wear their masks. Also, in the airport, there was a government employee when we were going through customs that was that was overtly shaming a woman for wanting to stand 6 feet apart. This is somebody that is in customs in the government in Miami, and that's happening. And there was a line in Miami that was just insane, and so we're all. It literally, I think it stretched for at least 3 football fields, and it went up and down these giant ramps that were taking the place of stairs that just curved all around. It was just a crazy, crazy line, and it was chaos and tons of people jammed together. And then you're in an airplane where everyone's in a little box, a little metal shuttle where all the air is trapped inside, and you've got fans that are blowing the air around and circulating it. And so it's just, the pandemic is real, and it's obviously having real consequences. We've got numbers and data on it, but it's just not clear cut. And I think there's just, I guess I'll leave it at that it's, people got to be more patient and not so, you can't protect everything. It's like there's risk in life, and you can't sell your soul to safety. It's a mix. I mean, you can't, it's a pick your poison kind of thing. I heard that way of speaking about it said. And everyone's going to have different opinions about it, and it doesn't make people evil. And we need to take a step back from that, because once we start condemning people as evil, and then we start becoming willing to, if you really believe somebody is evil, like what do we do to an evil person? If somebody it murders somebody, we arrest them. We put them in a prison. If it's heinous enough, they get put to death. And so once you start trying to categorize people as evil for having different opinions, even difficult ones, you just can't do that. And so patience, respect for other people, and also an acceptance that life is never going to go perfect, and it's never going to be perfectly safe. Anyway, some thoughts brought to you from going through the airport and international travel, and just seeing how different things are being conducted. And it's been interesting. All right. We got E-Open Mic coming up. What else here? I'm pulling up my calendar. I have Saturday, March 5th, I'll be at Sea Island Farmers Market. My band Noah and the Space Ark is going to be at the Washout on February 12th. I've got an engagement party I'm playing for on the 18th. I'll be at Gilligan's on Johns Island on March 25th. I'll be at Indigo Reef Brewing on March 20th. That's a Sunday. And Zeppelin Pizza on, I've just messed that all up. It's February 5th, Sea Island Farmers Market. February 12th, Noah and the Space Ark at the Washout, 8 p.m. Sea Island Farmers Market on the 5th is going to be from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Really looking forward to the E-Open Mic with Tim Falvey, Grant Wenzel, Nathan Douglas, Arvetra, and a couple others to be determined. And yeah, if you join in on that day and you see we're live and you want to share a song through Skype, you can connect through your phone or through your computer. You can jump on the stream. I'm going to be working on the details of getting that ironed out. Let's show this here real quick. Let's jump to this camera. The studio's coming to, I got to clean it up. I've got like a ladder in here and stuff, but I wanted to show this. See if I can spin it around. So I just got these sofas in here. There's the everyone couch over there. I think I'm going to write everyone on it. and I picked up these 2 sofas, identical, recently. I got to clean them out, and but it's coming together. I'm going to vacuum the floor and stuff, and just put this thing up. There's the green screen. I got a heavy bag in the music studio. So if you want to come in and throw some hands, you want to sing your set, and you want to take it, work out some stuff on the heavy bag. I've got some boxing gloves and wraps and the heavy bag. I wanted to have another fun way to just get some good cardio exercise and work out. So the heavy bag is just awesome. I've got a pull-up bar here with some bands that I've installed into the ceiling. TV for us all to watch, and headphone jacks, all that stuff. And I think I might leave it there for this one. Trying to think if there's anything else. I already talked about Mic Club. All right, y'all, I'm going to close it out on just running through this one again. I haven't played this since I've been on vacation. All right, we got to start that again. Repeat through there, but I'm gonna give this a go. All right, we're going to leave the piano there. And I needed to switch back. So I gotta get the hang of this. Doing a live stream and running the video and all this. I'm gonna get the hang of this. It may take me a little bit to get the swing of the even mic and changing all the cameras and when different people are playing, getting right on them and stuff. But I'm gonna get the hang of this. I'm gonna put effort into it, and I'm gonna get it. But I also wanted to say I'm gonna start doing a series on different musicians. I mentioned this from when I was in Jamaica, but one of the things I'm going to start doing, along with efforts to learn piano, and like I've said in a previous podcast about developing systems, I want to put a small amount of time into different things just about every day. So 30 minutes into exercise, 30 minutes into piano, or 40 minutes into piano, 20 minutes or 25 minutes into Mandarin. I want to put 30 minutes or so into learning about mixing, and so I do, or I'm doing research on different educational content on how to mix with Logic Pro, and just learning more about different techniques and or different theory about how to do it, and just spending that time. So I'm always gaining new information, and even if it's just a little bit every day, you take it in manageable doses and just increase your skill by a little bit every single day. So that's the strategy I'm going to be taking. And one other thing that I want to do, along with those others that I've mentioned, is researching different musicians, and particularly ones that are distinct and had a significant impact. And so when I was in Jamaica, of course, the musician that most people know out of Jamaica is Bob Marley. And I was there when I talked to somebody else, and they said another name, and I can't remember. It was like Silk something. I'll try to figure out who it was. And there were this one local was saying he has two favorite musicians out of Jamaica, and one was Bob Marley, and one was this other guy, Silk something. So I got to check it out. Both very good reggae artists. So what I wanted to learn about, because you hear about these famous artists, you hear their music, but a lot of times we don't really understand how exactly that happened. So I started doing research on Bob Marley, and that's one of the things I want to do, is just put together, maybe on a weekly or monthly basis, or maybe a bi-weekly basis. That might be the way to do it. Monthly seems not enough. Weekly seems like it's going to be hard to keep up with, producing a good quality content about it. But that's what I want to do, is do research on these different people, and put together just a different perspective, my perspective on who these people are, and what made them great, and what made their music great, and what helped them to have the impact that they had. Bob Marley was a really interesting one so far when I've been learning about him. And just listening to his live performances, and that's what I'm in particular really interested in. The recorded music is cool and all, and obviously recorded music has a huge impact on the world. But I'm more interested in these days in how live musicians have impacts on audiences, and what they're doing, and how they perform and make. Yeah, basically that. How they use sounds to intimately connect with and move audiences, and just understanding that more deeply, and how each of these different artists did it in such grand ways. So that's something else I'm gonna be doing, and posting that content to my YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff, guys. I'm gonna be trying to do this really well. So I know I've been scatterbrained and hesitant about saying different things for a long time. I'm trying to step through that and take it a day at a time. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna go be with my wife. So peace out. See you guys in the next one. I'll be back on here next Monday. Thank you guys, and peace. Have a great week. Peace.